Kappa League TV.
But I wanted to open up with Steve Wilson. Steve is the media director for Kappa League in the greater Hartford area. And Steve did Hartford did a green screen production without having a green screen in their house. And I'm wondering, Steve, if you could get on and just in a couple minutes, tell us how this came about.
Sure. Good evening, brothers, again. So in Hartford, at the library downtown, there's an actual youth program. It's called Youth Media or U Media. And so they do like music, they do graphics, they do podcasts. And so we were also running a video game tournament. And so the same individual that's running the video game tournament has the space, went and toured the space, and we were just like, okay, so you already have a green screen, so we might as well get our Kappa Leaguers in here. And Brother Shemai Cook and Brother Corey Plummer were the anchors, and they were the ones who were able to go in. Due to COVID, the entire team couldn't go in. So they went in and they recorded. They already had, again, like all of the equipment. So if you don't have green screens, you possibly can reach out to the libraries or some schools, or the community is always just a great resource to check back into. There's just a lot of brothers out there who are into media. It's just to find them. And here in Hartford, we're just kind of blessed to have a lot of individuals who are into media out this way.
Okay, so basically, Noops, one thing, because this is a creative way to go about it. One thing to do a little research on is what are the facilities in your area that can provide you with the ability to do production. And you might have something at your local library. It might be something at a local university where you have an undergraduate chapter, and maybe they'd be willing to open up and you can work through the undergrads to be able to go in and use their studio equipment. But definitely reaching out into the community and finding out what facilities your tax dollars have already paid for that you can have access to and use to move yourself forward in production for Kappa League TV. So from here, I'm going to turn it over to Brother Peebles. Brother Peebles, if you guys have not yet seen the videos that are coming out of Alpharetta Smyrna, they are so clean. The lighting, the sound, the sharpness of both the picture and the background. All of it is so clean that it looks TV ready. And what we're trying to do is get every one of our videos up to that level. So Brother Peebles, I'm so happy that you could be here, and I am going to give you the floor. And please tell us about green screen production and how it gets done.
All right, well, thank you for that setup, Brother Jones, and thank you for everyone for your attendance. Green screen can be a blessing and a curse. And I say that because if it works right, it's a blessing. And if it doesn't work right, it's a curse. And the reasons it cannot work right sometimes is you have to light it properly. You can't wear green, obviously. And if you're doing it right and you're able to key it just right, you'll get that sharp image where it looks like the image is right in the background image. If you don't key it out right, if you don't light it right, you'll have gray areas, and it just won't look as clean. So it's a lot of trial and error to get it to be to that point. Didn't start off that well for us, but we kept trying to refine it. And there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. You can read up on it or watch it. So that's kind of how it started with us, just kind of learning the how to get it to that level that Brother Jones was talking about. I got a few pictures. I don't know if Brother Jones, you can let me share the screen. This slide here, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is what I was trying to explain, how I have this set up in my home. And this was before COVID, but we still kind of do it. As you can see, you can't see the background all the way, but there's a light on each side to kind of make it even. So if you have a light on one side, you need a light on the other side. If you have a light on the top, you should have one on the bottom. The objective is to get the video to be evenly lit. And that's where all the problems can occur. If it's not evenly lit, you have a spot that's too light or too dark, and you try to key it out and edit, you'll notice it won't key out, or it won't key out all the way. So sometimes it's good just to not put any light, but you got to be careful. I would say try it and see what works. What I was explaining before, I felt that we needed this table, which I'm thinking we don't, because once you do the green screen, you can crop it to the point where it's just the individual, and you don't want all the table and all the surrounding stuff. You want to crop it as much as you can around the person speaking. And the thing is, with this green screen table, the light reflects off the green, and it's hard to key that out. So what we've started doing was putting something black under it, so you can key out the green around it and don't have to worry about the light bouncing back off. And as you can see, there's a light lighting the subject, the speaker. There's lights lighting the background, and there's one kind of lighting like the area of the table. So that's kind of how you get the lighting where you want it. And one key thing to do is, people seem to always want to think you sit right up on the green screen. You don't. You try to get it as far back from you as possible. That way you don't cast any like green reflections from the background onto the subject. And another thing is, if you have one, you can put a small light coming from the back toward the front, so it separates the person from the background. So you have a little bit of light around their shoulders and their hair, so that when you key it out, it's not like they drown into the background. So those are just some things to think about. Like Brother Jones was talking about storytelling. This is one of the things I want to stress as well. While we at ASA do use this green screen, we try to minimize it because we don't want it to look like that's all we got. We want to use it to promote, basically toss to the story. So this is the one I was telling about, the young man that was interviewing the Kappa League brother about the Thanksgiving project we did. So he had a microphone that was plugged into the camera, and then we just proceeded to do the interview where he would talk and ask some questions. And this was pre-COVID, like I was saying. And then this one, hopefully it's changing. This was the young man who did the vote PSA. We did a story on him, and we're more than 6 feet out. This is in his backyard. And we basically lit him, not green screen, but we wanted to take it outside. So that's one way we did that, where we didn't have to stick in the studio per se. And as you can see from the video, if you ever watch it, it looks like they're closer together because we shot them separately. So they're not on a 2-shot. We shot the young man asking the questions, then we shot the young man asking the questions, and we just kind of cut them both together during the end. Same thing for this. We did a story on the video game tournament. We went behind the scenes. We talked to this video game company called Skillshot Media here in Atlanta. And we talked about what it takes to put on a video game tournament. So as you can see, they're at least 6 feet away. And we did the same thing as far as the way we conducted the interview. The camera's on her for the answers. Then we turned the camera on him for the questions, and we just mixed it back and forth during edit. So this is a sample of our last Kappa League TV that you may have seen. We posted it. I just want to show a snippet of it just to show you what we did on the green screen and how it transpired on the air or whatever. Hopefully this will play.
Kappa League TV.
I'm Niles Holt from the Alpharetta Smyrna Alumni Chapter Kappa League, and you're watching Kappa League
Trying to
TV.
stop it just so you can see.
Kappa League TV.
I was trying to pause so you can see the difference in how it's lit and how it's clean because it's lit properly. That's the big.
I'm Niles Holt from Alpharetta Smyrna Alumni Chapter Kappa League, and you're watching Kappa League TV.
So this brother was in LA, and we did a split screen interview. Kind of made it look like a CNN type deal where, you know, you have the gentleman on one side and the Kappa League on the other side, and you see which city they're reporting from. To make it interesting, so it's not just static, a static interview. So we had him talking, and then we covered it with pictures of some of the things he was talking about. And then we came back to the green screen to introduce the next story.
Pad came out. We were really creating some solutions for, let's say, the football team. We had playbooks on on the iPad. We had their strength and conditioning, health and nutrition and wellness, all that stuff was there. I really was having a good time and really a lot of fun building these things out.
How'd you know when it was time to leave what many see as a prestigious job to start your own business?
You know, I just stayed at Apple for so long because I really enjoyed working there.
All right, so I'm not gonna make you watch the whole thing because this one is up on our website if you want to watch it. But basically, I'm just showing you how we did the green screen. We tossed it out in the studio, out in the field. Then we came back to the studio with an interview because we couldn't reach this brother. He's in California and it's COVID, so it's another way to do the interview without actually being in the same room. So that's how we did that.
Let's talk a little bit about these productions. One of the things that I think I talked about already was the consistency of light, sound, and framing. So now let's go into this. Let's walk through what we're doing. So you're getting ready to do a production and you got your green screen up behind you. You got your camera set up so the green screen is completely on camera, and you sit down. What do you look like? Kappa League TV is Kappa League formal, right? So your jacket or your sweater, whatever you guys do at your chapter. What we really love is the Kappa League bow ties or the Kappa League ties, because that becomes a brand. Anybody sees that red and gold bow tie, they know exactly what they're looking at before you even open your mouth. So making sure that, you know, I know it seems basic, but that you got your do fresh when you're going to be on camera, that the lighting is right, that your clothing is right, because we're putting out an image of young Black men. So what you see mostly in media is you see young Black men represented as you know, thugs and hoodies, and that's all over. And let me explain to you young men why this is important. You got this whole thing of music where young Black men are trying to act threatening because it's a very masculine thing to do, that you're the baddest cat on the block. Now, while you're doing that, you have 26 states across the country that have created a law called Stand Your Ground, so that if they feel threatened by you, they can shoot you and then ask questions later. So as we create this image in the media of young Black men being threatening, we're also setting up all the young brothers in those states to get shot, which I'm sure you guys have seen on TV. So what we're doing here is the exact opposite. We want you guys in shirts and ties and jackets with your hair combed, looking good, being fresh, and representing the high intellectual capacity of young Black men to ask smart and important questions and have people answer you with smart and important answers, because when they do that, they are acknowledging that you are both smart and important. Does everybody understand that? All my Kappa Leaguers, raise your hand if you understand that. So that is a big part of what we're doing here, is the image of who young Black men are is going to be led by the young men of Kappa League. Okay, so now you're going to do a lead in to your story. And what I recommend to you is to come to the Kappa League TV playlist and a Kappa League TV news playlist, and just watch 3 or 4 of those videos and how there's a lead in to every story. You introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Shemai Cook with the Great at Heart for Kappa League, and you're watching Kappa League TV News. Boom, now your story. Today, we're going to talk about the insurrection at the Capitol. So this week, this and this happened. Let me take you to the story. Now, once we get, and that's where that will cut off. And once we get to the point where you can actually be out interviewing, then just like we saw the young men with the stand-up microphones with the mic flags on them, you can go out and you can actually talk to people. But it's okay, since we're in COVID, that's where you set up your interview. And so now you have your interviewer on the other side, and you have already checked with him for framing, for lighting, and for sound to make sure that all of those are up to your standards, so that when he comes on camera, he looks as if you guys have set up a camera shoot. And now you can talk back and forth, or you can talk to him on camera and then cut it back into your production. And then once you've done that, you'll come back and you'll catch the end, which is back in front of your green screen with you still in a shirt and tie, looking good, and taking us to the outro, which is to say, so that's our story. Thank you for watching. I'm Shemai Cook, and you've been watching Kappa League TV news from the Greater Hartford area. And and that's where you cut. So that becomes the format of how you do it. You have 3 pieces to your report, which is an introduction. Then you have the body of the news story. Then you have the conclusion. And what you can do is you can shoot the introduction and the conclusion at the same time, because you're right there in the studio. Now all you have to do is go out and capture the body of the story. Then you put the three pieces together, and you have a Kappa League news.
When you do it like that, your lighting's consistent with the ending and the beginning, because you don't have to go back and redo it and try to figure out what it was like before. So yeah, that's exactly what we do: the intro, the outro, and then the tag in the middle, all at the same time. Some questions on cognizant of time. So to summarize, it's very important to light it evenly. It's important to get the good audio, like Brother Jones was saying. And the way we do that is with a lapel microphone. And I have this, you can see me. I have this, it's a recorder, audio recorder. I actually capture the audio from, Shemai knows what's up. You capture the audio going straight into that recorder, and then you sync it up and edit. So you capture it separately, and then you marry it to the video, and that way you got good audio. You never want to just get camera audio because it's hollow. Sometimes you have no choice with a Zoom call. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Malachi.
So like, how would the having good audio relate to the green screen? Because green screen is background.
It's not directly related to green screen. You want to have good audio. Did you ask the whole question?
The teleprompter. I saw a teleprompter. Someone holding a teleprompter.
Okay.
I wear black. So one of our biggest things with our first episode with Kappa League was us looking like directly down. Do you have like any suggestions what we should do?
Yeah, I do. So basically what that was my daughter holding it. And since then, we've got an actual stand that we can clip it to. So it's an iPad, and there's an app called Teleprompter. It's a free app.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Cause I have an app on my tablet. It's called Penguin. Penguin. I don't know what it's called, but like, so that will be fair. We could just upload the script.
Yeah.
Okay.
You put your script in the teleprompter, and then it's got like a thing where you can make it read really slow or really fast based on how fast you read. And we just put it on a stand and put it like right in front of the camera. So when you're looking at it, it looks like you're talking to the camera, but you're reading the script. So that's how we did that. But back to the audio, it's really important to get good audio, because if you don't, you hear a lot of noise in the background. So we use a portable microphone. They also have some that you can plug into your phone and capture audio from there. And it's just you just have to figure out the way to get the best audio. If you have to go old school and get a microphone, a handheld mic, and just do that, you can do that. But you could also get a mic that's set to a stand, a small stand, like you see on ESPN and all those places. And then you can just talk into that. So it's basically using what you have to do to get that good audio. It's very important.
And you could get the lapel mics too.
Right, which is what we had. But you still have to plug it into something. So you plug it into your phone and hit audio record, or you can plug it into, like I said, this one of these little recorders. You don't have to get this particular one. They have different ones. They all work the same. So you record it and you get the file and match the audio up to the video. Very important to know how to sync it up. Otherwise you have lip flap.
Do we have any more questions? I think Steve Wilson had a question.
Yes, yeah, Steve Wilson, next question.
Yes, my quick question is, so for those who, so for right now, we know we're in the pandemic and the restrictions, they prevent us from actually having like these in-person interviews. So if the gentlemen need to interview via Zoom, what type of information do we need to send to those who are being interviewed? Almost going back to like the best practices. So how they should either have like their computer or their phone or the audio or whatever else. We, for our first episode, we had a lot of individual interviews on Zoom, and some of them didn't go out the best, but we tried to piece them together. So I don't know if there's something that we can send out for those who we are going to interview, and just kind of like bullet points, like this is what you need for the interview.
Can I take that, Brother Jones?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I want to take that specifically because you hit on two perfect questions. I'll take the second one first, though. When we do interviews, we often have people say, hey, send me the questions. As a journalist, professional journalist, maybe it's just me bleeding into what I normally do. We don't send out questions. What we do is we say, here are the areas that we're going to talk about. Anything we ask you, you should already know if we contact you as an expert. So we don't, when you send out the questions per se, you get prepared answers and it doesn't look like engaging conversation. So what I would say is bullet points are fine, but I would just say, okay, we're going to talk about this and we're going to talk about that. And that's how you kind of get them to understand, okay, this is where they're going with this without actually giving them the specific questions. That's the first part. The second thing is Zoom, although it's a good tool, what I did, you can use this. If you need to hit me up, we can work around it. Zoom is good, but it's not the best for TV or for what we're doing. So what I do, I set up a Zoom call and I let them interact on Zoom, but I asked them, the person that we interviewed, take your phone, hold it horizontal, and record yourself in front of your screen. Then I have a young man doing the same thing. So although they're talking on the Zoom to each other, I then say, send me the video and put it together. So we have better quality video, we have better quality audio, and the Zoom is literally just so that they can see and talk to each other. I don't use the Zoom at all. I use their phone video to make it look like it's a live, and it is a live conversation. So it's not finagling it, but I just don't use the Zoom because you got that lag on the video and the lag on the audio, and it's just not as crisp video. You got an iPhone and you set it up in front of your computer, and you got the Zoom on the computer and you're recording on this, then you just send me that video and then we can just use that instead of the Zoom video. So that's how we worked around it, and it works great. The only problem is when the young man doesn't have it close enough, you don't have good audio. So you want to have it like within the 3 feet. So you got your head and shoulders in the shot, and you'll get good audio. So that's one trick we learned. And Brother Jones thought we taped it. What do you think, Brother Jones? We taped it?
Yeah.
Well, that's live. That's live.
Well, let me also jump in here because there's a couple of technical things. One of the things that we can create a template around is the issues of framing, lighting, and sound check. So one of the most important things whenever you're creating content is that there's enough light and that the sound is clear. So what you want to have your interviewees do, first off, you want to have them, before you start the interview, you're going to do a series of technical checks. First, you're going to check the frame. So sometimes people come on and they frame like this, right? And other people are framed like this. So we want to make sure that the first thing we do is check the frame, and you want the frame to start down here about chest level and then have a little bit of clearance for the head. That way you know you got a good frame. And if your host and your interviewee have consistent framing, then you can cut back and forth, or you can put 2 panels up and they look like the framing was coordinated. The second thing is to check the lights. So right now, as you can see, I've got one of these little ring lights in front of me. The ring light, you can change the colors of the ring light, but also if you don't use a specific ring light in front of you like this, then you get this kind of thing, right? And then you can't use it. So we want to make sure that your subject, both off that you do a framing check, that you do a lighting check so that the light is sourced on his face. So you make sure you've got good, consistent lighting. And then just like we did here, you do a sound check. So Brother Peebles got on, and the first thing he asked me is, can you hear me okay? I said, Brother Peebles, it's a little bit low. He turned up his sound. I can hear you okay now. And now you've got lighting, you got sound, you got framing, and you're ready to roll.
I have a question. So regarding to the lighting situation, I wear glasses, and so how do you prevent the light coming off my glasses? Cause I can't see y'all if I take off my glasses.
Yeah, no problem. One of the things that I've learned to do, Shemai, is the reflection in the glasses is based on the angle that you're holding your head. Let me see if I've got a pair here. Basically right now, when you're looking and you got a light source on you, and if you put your
multiple light sources.
Okay, so right now there's a light source that's in your glasses. It's reflecting in your glasses, okay? But if you lift your head up just a little bit, then the light source doesn't reflect in your glasses. So the easiest way is to adjust the angle of your head so that the light doesn't reflect back into the camera from your glasses, and you'll be
adjust the angle of your light so that the light doesn't. It's probably easier to adjust the light versus your head.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
If you can adjust the light, then do. But if
or
you
just
can't
get
adjust the
contacts.
light, then adjust your head. You understand what I'm saying, Shemai?
Yeah, I believe that's fair. Or I could just get contacts.
Well, you could get contacts, or you could also get, if your parents wanted to, you can get glasses that have a flat frame. So your glasses are concave like this. But if you get glasses that have a flat frame, then they won't reflect in the same way.
Are these fair? These glasses? Because I have multiple glasses.
Yeah, those are also rounded, right? Anytime you have a rounded frame, it's going to catch a lot of reflection. So in television, what they do is when we're wearing glasses, they give us a flat frame, and then it doesn't reflect. And so those are possible to get if you want to wear glasses while you're doing your thing, or like you said, you're a good-looking young man, contacts wouldn't be a bad thing.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration.
There you go.
Brother Peebles, there was a question for you from Brother Howard about the videos that were sent to you. Question was, how did you receive the video files since they're large?
You mean, WeTransfer.com is one of the best free, easy to use transfer sites. Obviously, there's Dropbox and Google Drive. So there's no shortage of ways to get that video to me. But
File transfer.
Yeah, but what that person had iPhone. So typically, iPhone to iPhone, you get good quality video, and it'll tell you the thing is too big. You try it as an attachment, and it'll send it.
Can you repeat that, Brother Peebles? What the website, the actual website, WeTransfer.com?
Oh, WeTransfer.com. WeTransfer.com is a large file transfer site. You don't have to sign up or anything. You just click attach. You tell it who you want to send it to. You type in your own email so they'll know who you are, and then they'll send you a code to make sure you're the person that's sending that email. And you type in that code, and it goes straight to the person. So it's the easiest one that I've come across. I use it all the time.
And I believe WeTransfer allows for up to 2 gigs.
Yeah, and if you want to join, you can buy an account, but I use a free deal.
And also, brothers, when I'm sending auditions back and forth to my agent, I get the video together and then I just add it to my, if you have Gmail, you just add it like you're adding an attachment to Gmail, and they'll tell you your file is too large. We're uploading it to Google Drive. And then they'll send a Google Drive to whoever you're sending the email to, and they can download the video right there. So just if any of you are on Gmail, Gmail does have that feature.
Oh, I have one quick question.
Yes, sir.
Previously, for the Hartford chapter, we were discussing the idea of potentially looking into making a website where we could have our social media handles, potentially air old episodes and advertise some of our fundraisers or events that are upcoming. And I was just wondering if any other chapter has previously done this. And I guess what are your thoughts on it? And would you have any recommendations if we do go about this?
You said a social media site. Are you talking about like an IG page, a Facebook page, a YouTube page?
So we already have an Instagram page, and I think we're planning on creating a YouTube, and just kind of having a place where I just have a central hub of where we would have a lot of our information together. So rather than someone going to Instagram, then to YouTube and searching between different sites to piece everything together, we would kind of have everything dedicated on one dedicated page.
Well, I think that's a great idea. I haven't seen that anybody's done it yet. But if you're able to, if you have the technical capability to say, create a splash page that has your YouTube channel, it's got your Facebook page, so that it becomes something that people could come there and see all of your stuff, and they can choose between which of your piece of content they want to check out, then I think that's a great idea. Now, what that also means is that somebody is going to have to maintain that page and keep it current. And that's a lot of work. So I think it's a great idea, but just be prepared for the idea that somebody's going to have to be on that at no less than a weekly basis and no less than 2 or 3 hours a week. So that's going to be somebody's Saturday project.
I would suggest that you start with Facebook because you can pull in a lot of people, but you could also get this free website page called Wix, W-I-X. And you can.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
You can get you a Wix site. If you don't pay for it, they put ads on there, whatever. You can embed your videos, and it's free, and they got templates you can use, so it's easy to kind of build. So that's one place you can do something like that. I have one for my own personal use. But I would say integrate that with Facebook because it's easy to pull in like National Kappa League Facebook page and all the other people that are on Facebook and tag them or whatever and share your videos. So you don't have to recreate the wheel by just building a website just for your stuff. Get you a YouTube, a Facebook, an Instagram, all with the same name. So it's at whatever. Like ours is ASA Guide, right? On all our platforms. So we share all our stuff in different places. And we're not limited to where we have to put one thing. But if you want a website, I would suggest get a Wix, W-I-X, and it's free.
So before we close out, I just wanted to ask the Noops if you have any more questions.
Oh, can I also ask, is there a way, like, what's the best way for us to stay in contact, like for us to share our resources, share our knowledge, and kind of see like what works for some groups, what doesn't? Like, anyone have the best way to contact each other?
We need a list, Brother Jones, because I want to talk to Shemai and Corey about some of the stuff that they were doing on their video, suggestions and tips and things.
Okay.
Right. Well,
you're a journalist, so I'm all for it. You're a real journalist, and I'm an inspired journalist. So I hear whatever you got to say.
You can also reach me at kappaleaguetv@gmail.com, and any of the resources that I have, I'll make available to you. So, and even if that means me connecting you with other people, if you see something on Kappa League TV and you want to connect with, say, Winter Park, or you want to connect with Petersburg, because they did something cool and you want to ask them how they did it. Like, for instance, Petersburg just did a fundraiser where they raised $5,600. Their Kappa League raised $5,600 and made a donation to a community organization. And so, you know, I'm going to want to get in contact with them and say, hey, how did you do that during COVID? And how can we reproduce that, perhaps even nationally, to create, and what would we do that for? Not just to raise money, but what is the exact goal of why we'd be raising money? How much are we going to raise? You know, that kind of thing. Those are the type of things that if you have those questions, then reach out to me. And I'll do my best to get you in contact with whoever it is you're trying to get in contact with. And that's not only about Kappa League TV, but, you know, I'm in Los Angeles. If you have questions about, you know, what's going on out here, or UCLA or USC, or, you know, those kind of things, allow us to be a reference to you, because since you're involved in Kappa League, wherever you are, wherever there are Kappa men, we're part of your resource. So, you know, don't limit it to just the things you're thinking about now. When you have a question, call a Kappa man and ask him.
Kappa League TV.
Thanks for watching Kappa League TV. Now, if you like what you see, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, and then don't forget to turn on your notifications so you can know when the next Kappa League TV report comes out.